In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the brush spring on a DeWalt grinder. The brush spring applies pressure to the motor's brush, which holds it to the armature. The most common reason you need to replace a brush spring would be because it was damaged due to the grinder being overloaded. When the grinder is overloaded, an excess amount of current flows through the brush spring. This current creates heat and will damage the metal on the brush spring, so it will no longer apply pressure. Sometimes it'll even melt in half. Brush springs are easy to replace, and we're going to show you how. Brush springs, along with many other parts, can be found on our website. Let's get started. We'll begin by removing the side cover at the rear of the grinder. It's secured with 5 screws. Now remove the paddle and the lock button, and separate the other half of the rear housing from the rest of the grinder. Now I'll remove the brush wire. I'll use a pair of needle nose pliers to pull it away. Now I'm just going to pull the brush spring up and out of our way so we can get to the other components. Now I can pull the brush arm back and remove the brush. With the brush removed, now I can go ahead and replace the brush spring. I'll pull the old brush spring away from the grinder. To install the brush spring back onto the grinder, I'll grab the tab in the center of the spring with a pair of needle nose pliers. Now I give that tab a 180-degree twist, and then I can slide the spring back onto the post on the grinder. And then I'll just pull the spring back up and out of the way so we can put the brushes back in. Now we can reinstall the brush. I'll insert the brush lead through the opening on the brush arm. Place the brush into the brush arm, and then fold the brush arm back against the armature, and reinstall the brush wire. Now I'll pull the brush spring back down so it's sitting on the brush arm. Now I can install the rear housing back to the rest of the grinder. I need to make sure that I have all the wires tucked out of the way so they don't get pinched. This lower wire runs behind the stud. It then goes down in the opening for the paddle switch. Now I can reinstall the lock button. You'll notice that there's a tab on one side of the lock button, and that should go towards the armature, followed by the paddle. And now we can finish up by reinstalling the other half of the rear housing. As I do this, I want to make sure that the posts on the switch and on the lock button all line up properly with the housing. Once I get it in place, I'll just test everything real quick to make sure it's right. And that looks good. So now I can re-secure the screws.